we've got National Lacrosse League action tonight. I want to start getting into this a little bit more. I've always been a fan of it. They used to sort of have like bets on the futures, but they didn't have games everywhere and stuff. But it's much more mainstream now. And I got the game on TV tonight. The Calgary Roughnecks take on the Vancouver Warriors. And speaking of Warriors, we'll bring in a man that I figure would like lacrosse, and Mick would probably be a pretty good lacrosse player because lacrosse players are all crazy and like you get to hit people and stuff. Like it's very AFL-ish. There's a team in Calgary, the Calgary Roughnecks, as we discussed. You got the Saskatchewan Rush. There's a lot of Canadian teams in the league, but there is not a team in Edmonton. What's going on, Mick? How you doing? There used to be a team in Edmonton, right? There's no team in Edmonton anymore. How you doing, Mick?
Yes, you're dead right. And the only time I've been to the old Oilers Stadium was to see the Edmonton Rush win the championship. And then the next year they went to Saskatoon. So it was a great night. And this guy jumped up 10 foot in the air and scored a goal. I played a little bit of field lacrosse in Australia. It's a good game. Absolutely it is.
Yeah, lacrosse popularity. Listen, NCAA lacrosse is really cool too. And outdoor lacrosse is cool, but this indoor stuff is where it's at. Right. It's indoors in the hockey arena. There's fighting like hockey.
Physical.
Like they really go at it. Yeah. Like they slash the hell out of each other. They throw each other face first into the glass. They fight each other. Like there's brawls. There's a ton of action. They're cranking rock music and AC/DC throughout the entire game and stuff. Like it's not like they stop the music. It's just constant in the arena. It's like a party. It's very affordable to get into. Like I said, the league is really expanding right now. The San Diego Seals are actually the favorites to win the championship. That team is owned by Joe Tsai, the guy that owns the Brooklyn Nets. The Buffalo Bandits are the second choice at 6-1. Seals are 5-1. Bandits are 6-1. Toronto Rock are a mainstay in this league. They're plus 650. And unlike other teams in Toronto, they do win sometimes. Colorado Monmouth are 8-1. They're the defending champions. Halifax Thunderbirds 8-1. Saskatchewan Rush 10-1. But we've got a couple of games tonight, including in Dave's backyard, the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. Next time I'm in Vegas, Dave, we'll go to a game. I'd like to go out here. Mick, you got your algorithm ready? You got your sheet ready?
Oh, boy.
You got a
NFL.
World Cup pick for us, too? Argentina or France? Who do you want to win? Who do you got?
Well, as you'll see, I have the Argentina colors on, the blue and white.
Good work.
And also, look at this. Go with the Detroit Lions because it's the South Gawler Lions, blue and white, and a similar logo. So I've been wanting to barrack for the Lions for years, and finally I can. But yeah, hope the Argentina.
Nice. It works. It doubles. It doubles as the Lions jersey. That'll work. That's fine. We need your
For the
5.
record, we're at the half, 17-16.
All right.
Yeah, give us the 5 best, Mick. What do you got?
We need your 5. Come on.
4-1 last week. Missed the Titans. That was the only one. I can prove it if you think I'm lying. All right. I've made about 8 bets, but I've got it down to 5. I'm going to go for the Cowboys to cover, the Bengals to cover, the Lions to cover, especially with Mike White out, but I had them to win anyway beforehand. I like the Rams, actually, at +7 against Green Bay. I hope that works. And I like, of course, your Buffalo Bills, Gabe, and those weakling Dolphins with those heaters on at SoFi. They should come for me for a ride next week at -30, -20 Fahrenheit. I'll stick them in the back of the truck. How would they go then?
Why are you going to put them in a truck, Nick? That's a little cold. It's cold back there in that truck.
Viking players don't like trucks. They like boats.
Hey.
Yeah.
The boat joke
What
was
about
nice. Go back a little ways there.
You finally got your wish. Russell Wilson isn't playing. Denver is still favored for now. But is this the game that you got to go in on Denver? Or are you taking Arizona on Sunday in that game?
I like your donkeys this week. This is the week the Broncos win. Brett Rippon and the offense is going to be better without Russell Wilson. They're going to win with the scrub kid just to start the controversy and everything. You know what's going to happen. Plus, Colt McCoy's terrible. I tell you, I made the Broncos the pick in on the Shady Five even. I think they
Did
all
you
were like,
already?
"What?" Yeah, I said I didn't even think about it.
Wow.
They said, "Who are you taking?" I said, "Just Broncos." Not the
Oh
Bills or anything.
my.
It was just one of those. I'm like, yeah, the Broncos. The Broncos are going to win this game. Mick,
Mick?
do you share the faith here?
Well, I do, and I was listening to Solaris and Evan, Mark Solaris, the guy from Fox on radio, and they listened to clips from the Golf Hacker. He was talking so much rubbish. He's a con man. He's a salesman. I had to turn it off. I was so angry. He's pathetic. With Rippon at quarterback, I think they might get it done, but it's going to be a pretty average game, isn't it, eh?
No, but Arizona just played on Monday. We saw they got pretty beat up. Every second play, somebody was getting hurt. Now they got to go on the road in a short week. Colt McCoy's terrible, Dave.
Oh.
Denver's finally, the players on Denver deserve better. Their defense has been balling. They're finally going to walk out of that stadium, going to be able to go have some drinks and celebrate for once. And
Does
Russ won't be there to ruin it.
Every game but
It
one
has
is going
to.
under.
It
has to. Not going to score.
Colt McCoy, yeah, like 10-3 or something.
I hope it's 17-6. Like, I hope there's just room, because I like Denver.
I'm putting money
too.
on it. I'm putting real money on it. I'm going to put like a nickel on the Broncos or so. So we'll see. Like, this is a leap of faith. I haven't bet on the Broncos since that Thursday nighter against the Colts. They disgusted me so much that night. Remember that game earlier in the year?
That was terrible.
That was sickening. I think that was in week 3. I was like, I'm telling you guys, they're terrible.
Mick, you like the Lions against the Jets? You said that? You like them to win outright?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I wanted to wear this jersey, so I had to support them. But yeah, I do. They're on a roll, and I really hope they can make the playoffs. But Gabe, when you say a nickel, what do you mean? Like a 5 or 10 cent piece? No, you mean $1,000, don't you?
No, 500.
No, a nickel is 500.
Oh.
Right. And a dime is 1,000.
It's 1,000.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're nuts.
Yeah.
That's what you have to say. Back in the day, that's what you said on the phones when you called your
Give
guy.
me a nickel.
It was always a nickel and a dime, and so
100 is a buck.
Take that for granted, right? $1, right? A buck or $1. Yeah. That's all. Yeah, nobody
If
uses.
you're betting 200, you go, yeah, give me the Pistons for $2. Civic, you don't want any confusion between 2,500 and 25,000.
Nope.
What's up, Mick? Don't get in too much trouble this weekend.
Stay warm, Mick. That's cold.
Good luck to Ritter, the former Cincinnati Bearcat. What's a Bearcat anyway? Something kinky going on in the forest? Not sure about that, but good luck to Ritter at the Falcons, eh? That was again a lot of fun on New York SportsGrid TV Game Time Decisions with Gabe Morency and Dave Sherapan. Seriously, I think I might be right as to what a Bearcat is. Google it. See if you can tell me more. Doesn't make any sense. Something kinky might have happened in the forest between a bear and a cat. I don't know. Anyway, I got him laughing, and my mate Kev in Toronto, a sports rage mate, who came to some AFL, international AFL football with me in Toronto. He texted me, he says he spat out his dinner when he was watching last night to what I said. A lot of fun. Now let's go to the first 10 or so minutes of a 45-minute or so show I was on this week with Donnie Hess, his fourth and long media podcast. He's from Des Moines, Iowa. He's a massive AFL fan, so we talk lots of Aussie footy, including international Aussie footy, Adelaide Crows, Gawler South Lions, the picture back there, and my jersey here, Guernsey, South Gawler Lions, and Woodville Warriors plaque up in the back. So hope you enjoy the first 10 minutes of the 45-plus minute show. Donnie Hess, massive Aussie Rules football fan, and doing a great job, along with Yank on the Footy and several others, promoting AFL into USA and around the world.
And welcome back, Fourth and Long fans. It's your footy correspondent, Coach Donnie Hess here, back with another chat. And ladies and gentlemen, I've seen this gentleman on many a show, including a really good friend of mine, the Yank on the Footy, Craig Wessel. Shout out to you, Craig. Keep up the great work, sir. This gentleman has joined him for many of his footy recaps and previews of this last season. And this is a gentleman I've always wanted to talk with, Mr. Mick Aussie. Mick, great to have you on the show, sir.
Yeah, great to be on. And I know you're a big AFL fan and AFLW women as well, and international football. So I especially wore my Ottawa Swans jersey because I know you're a big Sydney Swans fan. There you go.
Absolutely love it. That is fantastic. A great way to start off this show. Let's hop right into it. Mick, I know who you are. I've seen a lot of it, but not everybody that may watch this show knows a little bit. So why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself away from the game of football?
Well, I grew up in South Australia, just north of Adelaide, in a place called Gawler, and loved playing football for the Gawler South Lions. And then I went to Adelaide and played for Woodville Warriors for 3 years. Before the Adelaide Crows came in, and then came to Canada in 1998 managing a computer company. So I was right up with all the technology and started doing media, got a Grey Cup CFL pass and took it to the NFL, did some NFL games and just kept going for the last 20 years, been doing quite a bit.
Fantastic. And I love everything you do. And you've been a great addition, something fun to watch. But we do the Canadian football. Other people talk about that. I kind of want to focus on footy here because as you know, I am a footy fanatic, absolutely love the game. So I gotta ask this of all the Aussies, what's your favorite thing about footy?
Oh, to play. Greatest game in the world to play. I mean, all I wanted to do as a kid was to be very good at Aussie football and tennis. And then at about 18 years old, I realized, even though I was playing pretty good tennis, I wasn't going to be pro. So I quit tennis and focused on Aussie footy. And just even in the summertime, I remember going out, just kicking goals, just getting as good as I could at Aussie football because it really is the greatest game in the world to actually play. And as you know, guys 5'6" can play, and guys 7 foot like Mason Cox can play. So you can be any height, any shape. You need to be fit, of course, but greatest game in the world to actually play.
Yeah, not going to disagree with you on that. Absolutely love the game of football. So I'm gonna make you think a little bit here, sir. I want you to go back into the time machine in your head. Can you remember the earliest footballing memory?
Oh, playing for Hamley Bridge Magpies, getting on the field in about grade 4, I think. They put me on a year earlier than other people, sitting in the forward pocket and being on the field for the first time at Hamley Bridge, South Australia. There you go.
Fantastic. That's an awesome memory. It's always great to hear that. So I hear you were a pretty good footballer. You were decent at how far did you actually get before you retired?
Yeah, well, see what happened in before the AFL was formed. So the Adelaide Crows came in 1991. So that was really when the first true AFL became because they needed Adelaide in the AFL. So from 88 to 90, I played in the SANFL, which was the second to top league behind the VFL. So it's maybe like 15% less than the VFL, maybe 20, but the best SANFL players went to the VFL for money because there was more money. So I played mainly reserve, but I played some league games in 1988 and then did my knee in 89, then played a few more in 1990. So that was a highlight. And some of the guys I played with went on to play for the Crows. And I remember in Michael Aish's testimonial game, a legend for Norwood, I came off the bench and I'm out in the middle with Andrew Jarman and Michael Aish and Gary McIntosh, and I'm going, wow, I'm actually playing against these legends. It's quite eerie, actually, when you think of it.
That's crazy. You're standing there looking, going, "How the hell did I get on this field? Like, why am I
Yeah,
here? Like,
kind of.
I'm just a flog compared to these guys. What the hell? Why am I here?" So that's absolutely fantastic. And again, it's that there's such a rich history of SA football. So that's awesome to hear that you made it a little ways and you have a lot of footy knowledge. So you kind of talked about it a tiny bit. How did you, an SA boy, get yourself to Canada and now become kind of this great name in CFL and NFL kind of talk on YouTube?
Well, I was early 30s and I quit playing Aussie footy back in Australia. I had hamstring trouble, so I quit the Gawler South Lions. And I was actually did mechanical engineering and I was designing in 3D and AutoCAD. So then I got a good job selling the AutoCAD and computer systems. So you'd go out to an engineering company and do a quote for like 100 grand with like 10 PCs and a server and RAID and AutoCAD. It was really good. Well, then I got a manager's job in Vancouver selling the software AutoCAD, which is Autodesk, the fourth or fifth largest software company at the time. And then I just started doing media. Just loved the technology. And Vancouver, Western Canada, had high-speed internet, one of the first places in the world. And we got short videos then converted into streaming videos. So I really had one of the first ever true streaming video shows in sports in about July or August year 2000. So quite a while ago. So that's how it all started.
Yeah, you're the veteran of something that has become a huge business in sport. Absolutely fantastic. So, as we said, your Mick Aussie gimmick is something that's very, very synonymous. But did you think this gimmick really helped you kind of stay into it? And then, how much footy content do you actually do for your channel nowadays?
Well, my main gig that I've kept up for 20 years, actually 2 weeks ago, was the 20th anniversary. I've been on Gabe Morency's Sports Rage, which he started in Montreal, AM late night radio. Then he went to Toronto with Sirius XM and The Score. Then he went on his own, then Fantasy Sports Network, and now SportsGrid. So I've pretty much been on once a week for 20 years on with Gabe, and I really enjoy it now because the technology is amazing. Through my cell phone, it's video, it's on YouTube, it's on Roku, it's on all these platforms all over the world, and they get quite a few viewers in the USA, of course. So it's focused on sports betting, and I try and mix in some comedy. So he has me on to talk NFL picks, CFL picks, but the big one, I believe we're the only one on True TV talking AFL picks every week during the season on North American TV radio. So I'm glad he has me on for that to promote the game.
Yeah, completely agree. That's fantastic. I wish there was as much as these YouTube shows are great, I just wish we could find a way to somehow syndicate radio shows with some of the footy knowledge and some of the people that do podcasts on this. There's some people that could really help put some content out there. And just one time, I just really hope this will happen soon. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a break. Maybe we'll have to see. So we'll jump into it. We've done a little bit about you personally. Let's jump into your passion. SA boy, who's your AFL club?
Adelaide Crows. I'm not real happy with them lately. I haven't been a fan of their recruiting. I'm not really a fan of the coach. Hope he proves me wrong, but very disappointed with the Adelaide Crows of the last, probably 4 or 5 years. I was lucky enough. One of my greatest memories is I was in the MCG when they won their first premiership the year before I came to Canada. So, long-time Crows fan, but really disappointed with them lately. And I don't think their recruits, I don't think the kids coming up are as good as some of your other teams, like your Swans kids are fantastic compared to the Crows kids.
Well, if you ask some people, they say that the academy system for the Swans is a super advantage. But one of the things that I usually come back with is I go, well, you also got to remember too is that with New South Wales you have NRL, and there's guys like Isaac Heaney and Callum Mills that, I mean, it's been pretty much documented. If they didn't have the Swans Academy, they'd probably be NRL players. So the argument that it's this huge advantage, not really, because my other thing is how many premierships does Sydney have since they really started the academy? Maybe one in 2012. But other than that, it's not like the Swans are the dynasty that Hawthorn and some of these teams were winning 3, 4, and 5 premierships. So again, I understand some people's arguments, but I really don't fly under that particular one myself. So we'll go to it. I know this isn't always easy, and I love asking this question because it's always fun to see your thoughts on this. Do you have a favorite player of the past? And do you have a favorite player currently on the Crows list?
Oh, favorite of the past is probably a few, but I would have to go with Mark Restudio. Riverland boy, South Australia from up Waikerie, Renmark Way. I actually saw him play. My brother played against him when he was like 16, and his older brother was playing. And just a legend, tough guy, but not dirty, tough, but fairly, maybe got reported once or twice, but a tough, great player. Mark Restudio, current player, Oh, I'm struggling. Probably Sloaney, but he's been injured.
Yeah, ACL last year, unfortunately, and so that's been hard for him. I hope he gets back on the track because he's a solid player. We'll have to see if the youth that they're trying to bring in, we'll see if Sloaney gets replaced out of the midfield or not. It'll be fascinating to see that. So I'm gonna ask you this as an American. I know the struggle. We are so far away from Australia. Has your passion for the club diminished at all since you've been away in Canada?
Yeah, only because they're not playing so well. but what really does help, I mean, we're having the AFL Watch app where you can watch games live, and Friday nights, Saturday nights. It really is good timing when you get a good game on at, say, 8 or 9 o'clock Friday or Saturday night. But yeah, definitely, like I said, bit disappointed with the Crows the past 4 or 5 years. But being on SportsGrid has helped me as well because I like to stay on the show most of the year. And if he keeps me on mainly to talk AFL picks, that's kept my interest up. And thus then I said, to yank on the footy, hey, I'm listening to all this knowledge of AFL podcasts all week. I might as well come on your show and help you out with the AFL picks. So last few years, I've kind of been even more excited about the AFL. And with the new rule changes, has improved the game as well the last year or two.